Magandang araw po sa inyong lahat. Welcome to another edition of the Cherry Mercado Podcast. Kamusta na kayo since the last time we chatted with each other, since the last time you watched our podcast, maybe podcast. And if you haven't yet subscribed or you haven't yet at least checked our videos on Facebook and YouTube, you can just go to the official Filipino TV. Kaka-launch lang namin yan. Not so long ago, maybe like a month and change or depending when you're watching this. But it's a fairly new YouTube channel. So just, let us know what you think and let us know what you want to see. We're trying to feature people in the community. And speaking of community today, we have a guest who I met in one of the events that I was invited to in the University of Toronto. It was a mentorship night for students, for Filipino students, pero meron din mga nagpunta na hindi Filipino. But the students who maybe just wanted to see people who were practicing in certain professions that they want to join in. So I was invited to that mentorship night to speak to the students, and he was also one of the guests. So I'm going to introduce you now to Zed Salazar. Hi, Zed.
Hi, Cherry.
Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
I'm so glad you can make it because I know as a nurse, Zed is a nurse, and it's quite a busy schedule for you too, right?
Yeah. So,
What's your full name, Zed?
my full name is Zedfrey, Zedfrey, and then Salazar.
Zedfrey Salazar. Is it a combination of your parents' name or how did you get the name? Okay.
Hindi. Actually, hindi ko rin alam ang history. Lahat kami magkakapatid kasi Zed lahat eh. So,
does any of your parents' names start with
no,
a Z?
none of
Hindi
them.
rin.
Yeah,
Okay.
Arthur
Did
and
you ever
then
ask them?
Actually, hindi pa.
Okay.
Maybe I should.
Homework ko sa'yo.
Yes.
Tapos paalam mo sa akin. So lahat ng siblings starts with a Z.
Correct.
And you are how many siblings?
4 siblings kami. So,
Okay. It's just interesting kasi I just made a story on pre-colonial Filipino names. Kaya medyo interesado lang ako dun sa history ng name mo. But then yun na nga like ako Sherry. Sherry Lay. I have an LEI as a second name because apparently LEI are the start of the names of my sisters. Ayun. So may Lizelle, Ethel, and Ivy. That's why LEI.
Okay.
So
yeah.
ibig sabihin pasan ko yung tatlong kapatid ko. Ganun ba yun? But anyway, so very interesting. When I met you in the mentorship night in U of T, one of the things you said there, struck me. Kasi sabi mo, gusto mo nang mag-give up in the course of your journey here in being a nurse. Can we start with that story?
Okay lang na mag-backstory ako.
Yes, of course. We have 5 hours.
Dumating ako sa Canada 2010 as a live-in caregiver. So during those time, nag-apply na ako sa nursing. So sabi ko, sige. And the live-in caregiver is like 2 to 3 years program kasi bago ka maging PR. So sabi ko, I have enough time to be, by that time, nurse na ako. Yun yung parang goal ko nung nagpunta ako dito.
So you came in caregiver. Hindi
Correct.
ka nag-nursing sa Philippines?
Nag-nurse ako sa Pilipinas. Nurse na ako sa Philippines.
Okay.
Before ako umalis, nurse na ako. I was a clinical and classroom instructor back then. Nag-masters na din ako sa Philippines. So tinapos ko talaga lahat doon. And then, my mom and my dad persuaded me na pumunta dito. So anyway, so nung natapos ko yung live-in caregiver program, so ang nangyari, wala pa rin progress sa career ko, like being a nurse. And sabi ko, sige, nakipag-usap ako sa College of Nurses of Ontario. Ano nangyayari? During those time talagang napakabagal ng proseso. Sobrang bagal.
Akala ko yun yung mga panahon na kailangan nila talaga. Well, hanggang ngayon, kailangan pa rin talaga ng nurses ng Canada. But it's the system, no? Parang they need it, but the system is mabagal.
Exactly. So I don't know kung meron kasing mga mababagal, merong mabibilis na parang mga process sila. So 2013 yon ang una kong naging trabaho after live-in caregiver is naging ano bang tawag doon? Server sa Mandarin.
Yung restaurant, yung buffet na all you can.
Yes.
Sarap.
Mismo.
Okay.
So after that, nagre-review na ako ng nursing ko noon. Nakatanggap ako ng eligibility for RPN, not the registered nurse.
Okay.
Kasi dalawang nurse dito, di
Oo,
ba?
oo,
Registered practical nurse and registered nurse. So
Mhm.
for RPN, nagre-review ako sa review center ng mga Filipino din. They invited me to become assistant teacher, parang professor.
Wait, you had to go through all of this again? Kahit na nag-masteral ka na, tas nurse ka na.
Yes.
Oo.
So-
Nag-aral ka dito ulit.
So ngayon, ang nangyari sa akin, nung nag-a-apply na ako, initially, sabi nila, hindi ako qualified. So pinag-exam nila ako, which is parang kami yung naging guinea pig noon eh.
Mm.
Bago lang yung exam na yon, which is yung parang actual exam. Merong actor sa harap mo na pasyente, gagawan mo ng physical assessment, ganun, or ano mo. Siyempre bago, walang ganun sa Pilipinas nung time na yon. Hindi ako, meron kami pero hindi ganun ka-intense.
Oo.
So I failed the exam.
Sama na yung pressure dyan
yes.
Yung mental, it's not exactly what you know.
Exactly.
I'm sure you know what to do.
Yes.
But
And
it
you
was-
are only given 10 minutes to do all the tasks.
Okay.
So ngayon, wala pang program noon kung paano maging masatisfy yung College of Nurses of Ontario kung bumagsak ka doon. So ngayon, nag-decide akong mag-apply sa mga universities. Siguro 3 beses akong nag-apply sa universities. Lahat yun, sabi nila hindi ako qualified. Doon sa pinakahuli, yun talaga yung nag-trigger sa akin na ayoko na. Kasi ang sinabi sa akin nung nasa registrar's office ako, sabi nila, you have to go back to high school.
Hala? High school?
High school. And then in
Wow.
front of the registrar's office, kausap ko sila, umiiyak ako.
Oh my.
Sabi kong ganun sa kanila, really? Sabi ko, ano nangyari dun sa sa masters ko and everything? We're sorry, sabi nilang ganyan, you don't have enough university credentials. Sabi
Why
nilang
all
ganun.
the way back in high school? Oh, but anyway,
It's kasi
oo,
daw, kailangan mo na daw may...
hindi nag-K to 12.
Yes.
May mga ganun
Parang
eh.
ganun.
Oo.
So ngayon, sabi ko, you know what? Sabi ko, I think it's time for me to move on. Kasi that was 2014, 2015 na.
Wow, nakaka-5
Wala pa rin
years
nangyayari
ka na dito.
sa
Oo.
registered nurse ko. So sabi ko sa nanay ko, sabi ko ganun, ma, sabi ko ayoko na. Mag-a-apply na ako ng ibang course. So nag-apply ako, natanggap ako.
Nag-apply ka na?
Ibang program. Health management ang kinuha
Wait,
ko.
what were you applying to in the 3 universities to be...
A registered nurse na parang entry
the
practice.
university.
Yes. Kung baga
may
babalik
nurses
ako
ba
maging
sa'yo?
nurse.
Teka, nag-a-apply ka mag-aral o nag-a-apply ka maging nurse sa university?
Nag-a-apply akong mag-aral sa university para maging nurse dito sa Canada.
Pero sabi nila,
Hindi pwede.
oo, yung high school mo hindi
Correct,
mo kompleto.
correct.
Okay.
So,
okay. So sabi mo mag-ibang program ka na
yes.
lang.
So natanggap ako. So umuwi din ako ng Philippines noon for like I think 4 months kasi sabi ko hindi ko na kaya. Sabi ko magulo yung isip ko noon kung ano talaga yung magiging path ko. So hinayaan naman ako ng parents ko na magstay doon, maggala. To the point na iniisip ko na mag-medicine din noon sa Philippines. Hindi na ako babalik talaga sa Canada. I was preparing everything. But sabi ko, sige, one more time. Pagbalik ko, mag-enroll na ako dun sa new program. Day before I pay my tuition fee, nakatanggap ako ng letter coming from the College of Nurses of Ontario. Ang sabi nila sa akin, they will consider me provided bigay ko daw yung job description ko dun sa mga dati kong trabaho. Sabi ko, okay,
wow,
fine.
the day before you took out your money and actually put it there, okay?
Well, hindi pa ako nakabayad technically.
Oo.
So, pero sabi kong ganun, okay, ready na ako. So, na-realize ko parang wait lang, may pag-asa yata, sabi ko. And then, on that same day, nag-open din ng ibang courses for internationally educated nurses na ma-satisfy lang kung ano yung ibinagsak mo dun sa mga test. Diba? May tinas ako. So bago lang din. So ngayon, pinagsabay ko sila. So yung College of Nurses of Ontario, sinatisfy ko,
job description.
Tapos kailangan ko umuwi ng Philippines noon para mag-volunteer ulit. Kasi meron silang tinatawag dito na safe practice. Expired na kasi sa akin noon. 3 years out of practice na ako. So umuwi din ako. And at the same time, I'm studying.
Dun sa sinasabi
kong bagong program.
Na na-recognize ng ibang mga studies.
So ngayon, that was December. January nag-start akong mag-aral. Tapos, dumating ang eligibility ko coming from the College of Nurses of Ontario ng May. So, hindi ko na tinapos yung program kasi sabi ko hindi ko na kailangan tapusin.
Hindi na kailangan.
So, yun, nagtuloy-tuloy na. Pero during those time, nandun pa rin ako sa trabaho ko na nagiging assistant teacher ako and professor. Nagtuturo na ako noon ng mga preparatory course for nurses, ganon.
So, hindi ka na umuwi ng Pilipinas to take the volunteer? Hindi
Umuwi
na,
ako
umuwi
for
ka
like
pa.
only 3 weeks. So,
Grabe, ang challenging i-navigate ng
Sobra.
sistema ng Canada paminsan. Ano?
Sobra.
Pag talagang,
sobra.
okay.
So that was like, yun yung parang naging turning point ko. Tapos, ang susunod is yung paghahanap ng trabaho. So, ang naging una kong trabaho dito, I mean, aside dun sa teaching job ko, naging visiting nurse ako. Parang community sa atin.
Oo.
Nagbabahay-bahay ako.
Okay.
So, yun yung parang...
Under the ano yan? College of Nurses.
Sila yung
ano
parang
yan?
PRC natin.
Oo.
Sila yung parang
So,
PRC natin.
may blessing na nila
Meron
yun,
na,
yung
meron
pagiging
na.
community nurse.
Yeah, and that time RPN na rin ako.
Okay.
Pero siyempre iba pa rin yung RN.
RX. RN.
Oo.
Oo.
So, nung nakuha ko yung RN, so yun, visiting ako ng community nursing. But, during those time, nag-aaral pa din ako. Ako, parang continuing education for nurses. So, nag-decide ako mag-aral noon na kunin ko yung nephrology nursing. Tungkol yun sa
Parang
kidney.
gusto mo rin pahirapan yung sarili mo. Ano? Dami mo rin. Parang umaandar na yung kabila, pero gagawin mo pa rin
Hindi
itong
kasi, ang na-realize ko dito, you need to have an edge para mapansin ka.
Oo.
Hindi ka papansinin kung registered. Well, maybe.
Meron
pero
oo.
napaka kasi ng market ngayon alam mo yun, napaka challenging and ang dami mong kalaban. So ano yung magiging edge mo sa kanila?
And I get the sense that even in Manila when you were studying, you were competitive and you were excelling in the things that you were doing. So you weren't used to being mediocre. You weren't used to being, I'm just one of them. Excuse me, I used to excel way back and I'm still the same person. So I don't know why I'm not excelling here.
Yeah, exactly. Tapos siyempre nung time na yun, nakikita mo sa social media, lahat ng classmate mo, ang gaganda na ng buhay. Yung mga lalo na yung mga nasa US.
Or at least that's how it looks on social media.
Oh, yeah.
We always put our best look forward there.
Yes.
Okay.
So yun yung ko. Tapos natapos ko yung course na yun, nakalipat ako sa ospital. Challenging na naman paano makapasok sa ospital. Minsan pumipila ako ng 5 oras sa job fair ng ospital. Tapos pagdating mo dun, sasabihin sa'yo, we will just call you.
Tapos hindi tatawag.
Hindi tatawag. Ngayon, I learned my lesson. On my second job fair, sabi kong ganun, ano kaya magiging strategy ko? Sabi kong ganun. Kasi ang tatanungin nila, how long you've been a nurse? Ang inisip ko, at the back of my mind, sasabihin ko pa rin ba yung sa Pilipinas? Siyempre, sabi ko, technically, nurse naman ako sa Pilipinas.
Hindi naman yung tinanong how long
so,
you've been a nurse
sa halip
in
na
Canada.
sinabi kong years, na halimbawa, 1 year, sinabi ko, since 2007. So, bahala na siyang mag-compute doon, di ba? Kung ilan lang effective. So, nag-move forward ako sa susunod na step ng interview. Doon sa interview na yon, managers na, 2 sila. 5 lang ang tanong. So, dapat masatisfy mo na naman. So, nag-move forward na naman ako.
You didn't know the questions beforehand?
Oh, no.
Did you?
Definitely
okay.
not. Definitely
Pero
not.
I can sense iba na yung feeling, iba na yung sense of confidence, level of confidence.
Yeah,
at this
kasi
point.
medyo nakita ko na kung paano yung kalakaran dito to become a nurse. So, talaga, and that time nagtuturo na ako. So, minsan kasi nanonood din ako ng mga self-taught ba kung paano sumagot sa interview.
Whatever it takes, no?
Yes,
kasi parang,
yes.
I love that you didn't just accept the failure.
Oh, no.
Yung parang, teka, hindi pwede. Oo.
Hindi talaga pwede. So, tapos, nung nakapasok na ako sa ospital, part-time lang yun pero siguro dumaan ako sa 4
para maging part-time.
Oo, 2
Samantalang kailangan nila ng nurse.
that time. So, 2 interview, isang written exam, isang final panel interview. Part-time So, nakuha ako. And then, nag-stay ako sa hospital na yon, dialysis nurse ako noon. Lumipat akong home dialysis, yung ako nagtuturo kung paano mag-dialysis sa bahay.
Tinuturuan mo yung ibang nurse?
Pasyente.
Yung yung caregiver ng pasyente.
Hindi, mismong pasyente.
Yung mismong pasyente nagdadialysis sa sarili nila?
Yes.
Okay.
So, yun yung naging trabaho ko for the 3 years. And then, eventually, ang naging, is may nakita akong opportunity sa Toronto General Hospital. Ang sabi is parang clinical coordinator. Nung una sabi ko, joke to. Sabi ko, Hindi ko sineryoso yung application, pero ang ginawa ko, ni-revise ko yung yung resume ko. Tapos ang ginawa ko din is tinignan ko kung qualified naman ako bago ako nag-apply. Sabi ko, okay, check lahat. Pero hindi ako seryoso noon kasi alam ko Toronto General Hospital, sabi ko, malaking ospital to, marami akong kalaban, sabi ko gano'n. And buong Ontario or buong Canada pwedeng mag-apply. So sabi ko gano'n, sige, bahala na, sabi ko. Few days after, nakatanggap ako ng sabi na, we want to interview you. Sabi ko, hala, totoo to, sabi ko gano'n. Pero ang ginawa ko, I seek help from my colleagues, mga friends ko. Sabi ko, bigyan mo naman ako ng hint kung ano yung mga pwedeng itanong dito, sabi ko. Nag-aaral ako, pinag-aralan ko talaga yung yung questions nila. The funny thing is that nasagot ko lahat ng tanong. Yung pinakahuli, ang hindi ko nasagot ng tama, which is ang tanong ay, why should we hire you? Which is napakadali.
You think it's easy? It's not an easy question actually. You really have to prepare for a question like that.
Pero prepared akong sagutin yun. But for some reason, ang nangyari sa akin, nag-flashback lahat ng mga stories ko dito sa Canada.
Oh my God! Parang scene ng pelikula ito, Zed. Parang, I can imagine the panel asking you and then, you have all these...
Ang nangyari sa akin, umiyak lang ako. This is not joke,
Oh my God, seriously?
Umiyak lang ako. Sabi kong ganun, I know this is like an easy question, but it's hard for me to answer it. Sabi hanggang ngayon, parang natatouch pa din ako pag naiisip ko yung tanong na yun. Hindi ko alam bakit, pero hindi ko pa rin siya masagot. Pero ang sinabi ko lang sa kanila, thank you for giving me an opportunity. Sabi ko, itong tanong lang na to, sabi ko, yung interview lang na to sa Toronto General Hospital, sabi ko, it's a big opportunity for me, sabi ko. But, sabi ko ganun, if you can see my history, my resume, sabi ko, I think I'm a good candidate for this position, sabi ko. Tapos sabi nilang ganyan, okay, we will just call you, sabi nila. And nandun, kasama din yung executive director ng program, yung manager, lahat. So, siyempre, kinakabahan ako. Guess what? 2 hours after.
2 hours?
Yes, tinawagan nila ako. We want you. Sabi nilang ganyan.
Oh my gosh.
So,
that's so amazing.
It was like, ang sabi pa nila sa akin, may i-interviewin pa kami.
Oo.
Yun ang sabi sa akin, natatandaan ko. Sabi ko, hindi ko nakuha yung trabaho.
Anong reaction nila when you got emotional? Did you see any indication that
hindi ko, kasi yung interview na yun web interview lang siya.
Hindi siya face-to-face na panel.
Yes, hindi. Kasi pandemic pa noon.
Pandemic.
So I was the one who actually requested kung pwedeng web interview lang. Pero based dun sa nakita kong ganon, basta umiiyak lang ako. Hindi ko na nakikita yung mga reaction nila, pero nakasmile sila. Nakasmile sila.
The reason I ask that is because recently I had an amazing experience.
Mm-hmm.
I went to a school because I'm thinking of bringing my second daughter here in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
And yung mga pinagdadaanan mo dati, yung mga pinagdadaanan ko ngayon, although it's very different, no? But kumbaga, starting pa lang ako to establish myself in Canada. So I was asking the teacher, I was expecting it to be like a 10-minute talk because homeschool niya, parang catchment school yun eh. So sabi, sige, we can accommodate questions from a new parent. What does it take for your daughter to study here? Kasi she didn't come from a Canadian school and then she's coming here pa lang on before the next school year. So parang ano yung mga intricacies. It's not the same case as a local. So she talked to me and then I didn't have to tell her things but she was very compassionate sa pinagdadaanan ng immigrants na bago. Sabi nga niya, because I told her that my daughter is an artist, sabi ko sa kanya, in all honesty, this is not my first choice for a school for her. I know this is the catchment school for the area that I'm living in, but I was hoping she could go to a specialized art school just like her older sister because she's a strong artist. And you know what she told me? She was like, in a nutshell kasi mahaba. But she said, your story is compelling. The school board should be listened. The least they can do is hear you out and hear out that your child deserves to go to a specialized art school if that's what she's really into and if that's what's going to make her a better student or better for herself, because you're already taking her out of her comfort zone, away from her friends, away from the environment that she knows, away from a place that she knows with people she loves, and you're going to implant her in a new country where there's so many things to adjust to. So the least we can do as a school board and as a new country welcoming immigrants is to give your child the possible environment where she can grow, she can flourish. Hala, iyakan cherry pie. Nakikipag-usap ako sa teacher, parang, how do you understand that? I mean, that's just amazing. And I told her, I'm like, you're such a blessing. You don't know how much those words mean to me. And you know, she said, kasi lottery system na eh. And natapos na yung lottery system. So, nagsara na for next school year. Hindi ko na maabutan. Sabi niya, don't take no for an answer. There are ways. You write, you meet with somebody, you push. Sabi niya, I'm not encouraging you to skirt the rules. But sometimes you have to be heard. You have to let yourself be listened to.
Totoo yan. Kasi ako ilang beses ako nag-appeal sa College of Nurses of Ontario. 3 beses. Talagang para akong naging lawyer noon on my own. I highlight yung mga syllabus natin. Tapos, inisa-isa ko, page like this, paragraph like this. Inisa ko, kasi in-explain nila sa akin kung ano yung mga kulang ko as a nurse daw. So, inisa-isa ko yun, sinubmit ko sa kanila. That was my second appeal.
Natuto ka maging, wala pa rin.
Nung ikatatlo lang.
Third nagkaroon.
But, yeah, very touching din yung sa'yo. Yun yung kagandahan kasi dito. Open ang mga tao. And yun yung isa sa mga natutunan ko dito sa Canada, that you shouldn't be, judging the person right away. Dapat pakinggan mo muna sila. Kasi laging merong story behind it. Oo. Like ako sa ngayon sa mga pasyente ko, sabihin ko lang meron akong naging pasyente. Umiyak din ako sa kanilang dalawa kasi bagong kasal lang yata sila. Yung husband was diagnosed to have a kidney disease and needs transplant. Kasi sa mga trabaho ko is to educate them about different types of dialysis and transplant. Ngayon, yung wife, sabi niya, ako ang magiging donor. Tapos, umiiyak yung wife sabi niya ganun. Tapos sabi niya ganun ng husband, no, sabi niya, I won't accept it, sabi niya. Ayokong galing sa'yo, sabi niya ganun. Tapos, umiiyak din yung husband. Tapos sabing ganun nung wife. Sabi niya, how can we move on to our next life kung hindi mo ko hahayaang tulungan kita? Sabi niya ganun. Hala, sabi ko, oh my God. Sabi ko, para ako nanonood ng movie noon. Sabi ko, nag-excuse ako sa kanila. Umiyak ako sa labas ng room. Hindi kasi, minsan talaga merong mga stories like your story for sure. Na dapat marinig.
Yeah. And kasi I am the only series I watch. I'm not a TV watcher. Sorry for that confession, because I've been in the TV industry forever, like 25, most of my adult life, right? Pero hindi ako manood ng TV.
Ako din.
I mean, diba? I mean, yeah, so the only series that I watch are medical drama. I am a self-confessed Grey's Anatomy fan. It started there, and then New Amsterdam. I'm not sure if you know that series, but I love it, and I intend to write. One of these days when I have more free time, I'm going to write to the producers. I'm going to ask, why did you stop this series? Because it's just wonderful how it's there, like, the medical practitioners are like you na they're not jaded. Like they still, madali kasi maging jaded, diba? As you get older. Like for example, me, I've been delivering the news, so I can be jaded about bombings and I can be jaded about people dying every day because I see that every day. You see people struggle health-wise, you see people die, you see people. For you to be able to carry on with your job every day, it's easy for you to get jaded. Diba? Na parang you won't treat them na lang as people, and that doesn't necessarily make you a bad person because you have to go through doing your job.
Of course.
Pero mas bilib ako, that doesn't mean hindi ako bilib dun sa iba who have to kind of desensitize themselves. Pero mas bilib ako dun sa mga kagaya mo na niraramdaman pa rin bawat pasyente. Every patient is still human. You're
Of
still
course.
one person, 'di ba?
Definitely.
Na ano.
Yan nga yung yan yung parang nagiging focus kasi nagtuturo din ako ngayon. Parang ang tinuturo ko ngayon is for internationally educated nurses na expired na rin yung safe practice nila. So mostly mga nag-aral sa ibang bansa, Filipino and other nations, right? So usually ang ginagawa ko sa kanila dun sa way of teaching ko is to integrate them dito sa Canadian system. Kasi gusto kong maintindihan nila na dapat i-treat mo yung bawat pasyente na uniquely. Tignan mo muna kung ano yung kailangan nila. Kasi dun mo makukuha yung trust ng pasyente and dun mo mapoprovide yung tamang care na kailangan nila. Kasi hanggat hindi mo nakukuha yung trust nila o hanggat hindi mo nakukuha yung mga information na kailangan mo makuha sa kanila, hindi ka makakapag-provide talaga ng care.
And meron daw studies that directly correlate the mental state of the patient to his healing. I mean, that's not rocket science, but sometimes people have to prove it via actual scientific studies. But, di ba, na parang, because what you're saying, I don't know how it is because you're the one who's practicing in your industry. But when you're saying that they have to trust you first, that's apparently a big factor in medicine.
It is. Kasi yun yung unang-una mong, I mean, as a patient din, kung halimbawa akong pasyente, siyempre kung hindi ako nagtitiwala sa practitioner ko, sa nurse ko, sa doctor ko, or anyone, it's not gonna be effective. No? And the one thing na natutunan ko sa bago kong trabaho ngayon, dahil team kami, hindi lang nurse, hindi lang doctor, may pharmacist kami, may social worker kami, may dietitian. So, yun yung natutunan ko paano usap sa kanila, paano mo i-refer sa kanila and everything. Which is like, sobrang ganda.
Kasi one team kayo to be able to address one case.
One case.
What is it that you do now? Can you enlighten us?
So, ang job title ko is Renal Care Coordinator.
So nephrology talaga yung
nephrology
naging
talaga. So, ang trabaho
Renal
ko
Care
is...
Coordinator. Okay.
Ang trabaho ko is yung mga pasyente kasi namin is nandun na sila sa stage na malapit na silang mag-dialysis. So, ang gobyerno kasi ang gusto nila is ma-educate sila para pag time na nilang mag-dialysis, alam na nila kung ano yung mga choices nila. So basically ang trabaho ko is i-assess din kung ano yung naging buhay nila, ano yung cost nung ganito nila ang lahat. Tsaka minsan kailangan mo ring aralin yung social aspect nila, yung bahay nila and everything. Tama ba yung ipoprovide kong education sa kanila? Kasi minsan, obvious naman na hindi siya qualified for this, but mo pa sasabihin? So
Teka, this is all part of the Canadian health system na parang merong educator?
Yes.
Halimbawa, pasyente ako, tapos malapit na ako mag-dialysis. So, I'm getting the care from the hospital and then what?
So, kami kasi, halimbawa, na-diagnose kang may kidney disease and nandun ka na sa part na malapit ka na mag-dialysis, i-refer ka nila sa amin. So, kami nun, ang goal namin is pabagalin yung progress ng kidney disease and at the same time, educate them in all aspect. Tapos,
para ready na rin sila kung sakaling
para kung dumating na sila dun sa time na dapat mag-dialysis na sila, sa halip na ma-admit sila, unintentionally, pupunta pa sila sa emergency room. Kami na yung nagfa-facilitate, eto yung gusto niya. O halimbawa gusto niya, may transplant, may donor siya. Kami na mag-i-start nun para hindi na ma-admit yung pasyente, hindi na ganon.
May ganon ba sa Pilipinas? As far as you know?
As far as I know, I don't know sa mga big hospitals. Pero kung saan ako dating is parang baka wala. Yun yung gusto ko sanang mangyari din sa Philippines, na magkaroon ng isang team na humahawak sa mga ganitong pasyente. And kasi, dito ang goal namin is, ang pasyente makapag-treat siya sa bahay. sa halip na pumupunta ng ospital. Kasi yung
Is
quality
that
of
a
life.
good thing? Is that not just, kasi alam ko dito government ang ang gumagastos. Is that just for the government to declog the hospitals and maybe save on government money, or is that actually beneficial for the
It's
patient?
both. It's both beneficial, and at the same time it saves money. It saves the government of the money. Kasi sa halip na pumupunta sila ng ospital, right? Ginagawa nila yung sarili nilang treatment sa bahay. And the quality of life is much better. Kasi biruin mo, nasa bahay ka, gabi mo ginagawa pagtulog ka. So ibig sabihin, pag gising mo sa umaga, you're free. Kaya karamihan.
Makakatulog ka ba habang ginagawa?
Yes.
Kasi baka...
Well, sa una siguro mag-a-adjust ka. Pero that's the goal.
Wow. So
namin.
people undergoing dialysis can actually have
Yes.
normal days, go through their...
Minsan hindi mo... Actually, that's the goal of home dialysis. Yung iba sa kanila nakakapag-travel.
Non-disruptive yung
Nakakapag-travel sila. Dala-dala nila yung machine nila.
Wow.
Yun yung isa sa mga tinuturo namin.
That's
and travel overseas like they can go back home. Like kung saan mang country.
Ano yung mga milestones sa buhay mo? Yung mga remarkable times.
Okay. Ano ba? Since birth ba?
Yeah. Since you were born.
Sige. I think since I was born, remarkable na. Kasi I'm a premature baby. Hindi ko alam eksakto kung ilan, pero magsi 7 weeks, parang ganun. I'm supposed to be born May, pero pinanganak ako ng March. So, nung time na yon, wala pang magandang ospital, sasabihin ko ng edad ko, no? 1986. So, sa lugar namin, Pampanga.
Pampanga,
dinala ako sa Manila. If I'm not mistaken, parang...
Biglaan ba? Yung parang hindi alam na...
Kind of ganun na nangyari. So, dinala ako sa Manila. Sabing ganun ng doktor doon is severely premature daw ako. And wala na daw silang magagawa.
So, sa start of your life, you were already in the medical...
Yes.
realm.
Yes.
Okay.
So, sabi nila wala na daw silang magagawa. So, hindi na... And I think they considered me dead na. Patay na daw ako. So, ngayon, ang nangyari, sabi nila, bayaran na lang yung bills, iuwi na lang daw ako sa bahay, hindi na daw ako dadalhin sa morgue.
Hala?
So, nakarap na ako nun ng towel.
You weren't breathing?
Yun ang sabi sa mama ko.
Okay.
Tapos, inuwi ako sa bahay, yung lola ko, which is mom ng mama ko. Inopen niya yung towel, nakita niya gumalaw ako. Nagpakuha siya ng cotton with water, nilagay sa lips ko, tapos nilik ko daw, nag-react ako.
Oh my God.
Tapos, so nakita nila buhay pa.
Since you
So nakita nila buhay pa ako. So nagpatawag sila ng family doctor. Pero the family doctor said na, 24 hours.
Okay, tinaningan ka na naman.
Yes. So, pero ang daming mga nagdadasal doon sa bahay.
You're such a fighter. You're such a survivor.
Yeah.
That's the story of your life. Kung pelikula ang buhay mo, ang title ay, daig mo pa si Manny Pacquiao sa pagka-fighter mo. Grabe.
So, after 24 hours, buhay pa din ako.
Malamang.
Yes.
Oh my God.
So, 48 hours, buhay pa din ako. So, and then finally nag-decide. Kasi wala nang
What was wrong with you daw? I mean,
premature baby. Walang,
Okay.
I mean, hindi pa develop yung mga organs. Siguro ganun. So, ang sabi na lang nung family doctor is, okay, wala na kasing gustong tumanggap ng ospital sa akin kasi Manila refused me.
Oo, tas Pampanga.
So, Pampanga,
Nasa bahay ka
wala
na sa
po. Yeah.
Pampanga.
So, ang ginawa na lang nila, nilinis nila yung isang buong kwarto. Ang nakakapasok lang doon nanay ko. Tapos, 24 hours yung bote ng Coke. Panoon, yung glass, nilalagyan nila ng hot water, nilalagay sa gilid ko. Para lang mainitan ako.
Parang may incubator.
Yes.
So nag-sariling nag-self-made incubator.
Yeah. For like, I think 6 months.
Are there any medical people in your family? That's why they knew how to do...
No, the doctor lang. Yung family doctor lang namin sa Pilipinas.
Wow.
So,
Bakit hindi kaya may ginawang magic yung lola mo when she opened the
hindi
towel?
Hindi ko alam.
Baka may superpowers si
hindi ko
grandma.
alam. But thank you for my lola. Yeah. So yun, isa yun sa mga milestones. Tapos, of course, nung
Tapos wala, dire-diretso na. You were,
Yes,
oh
yes.
my God. That's amazing.
Yeah, hanggang sa nakarating na ako dito sa Canada. And I think yun. So, pero ang recent milestone ko talaga nung natanggap ko yung job sa Toronto General Hospital, hindi ko talaga in-expect yun. Kasi I was expecting na ibang matatawag. Kasi nga, at sabi mo nga, di ba, parang I don't really look myself na parang achiever. Pero deep inside me, I know na gusto kong may ma-achieve. Kasi ako yung tao na hindi talaga gumigive up hanggang sa dulo kung talagang wala na. So
yeah, since the day you were born, you never gave up. That's just in your destiny, fate. I mean, different religions would call it different
I think
things.
so.
But I
think
wouldn't
so.
be surprised if you have superpowers hidden in there. Baka mamaya, ka,
Yeah.
kakaibang. Baka may power ka, Zed. Okay, so in the Philippines naman, so you grew up in Pampanga.
Of course, yeah.
Okay, your parents are anong nila, background nila?
So mama ko is taga Pampanga, daddy ko taga Nueva Ecija. So mama
Magkalapit
ko
lang na probinsya.
Yeah, both of them are government employees.
Government employees.
Yeah. Nagkakilala din sila doon sa opisina.
Oo.
So, yeah.
How were you raised? Were they strict?
I think it's a combination of both. Tama lang, I guess. Pero ang mama ko, parang mas strict siya nung time na teenager kami. Ayaw niyang masyado nakikipag-overnight kami. Pero, ang sabi niya sa amin, kung gusto niyo mag-overnight kayo sa bahay. Gusto niya kasi nakikita niya lahat.
Oo.
So wala siyang problema doon. Basta ako nasa bahay at yung mga kaibigan
Kahit
ko.
nagiinuman kayo, basta doon sa bahay
yes,
niyo.
yes.
Basta nakikita.
Pero hindi ako umiinom. Alam nila yon.
Talaga? You never got into
I did
drink?
minsan pero hindi ko gusto
Hindi mo
yung lasa.
nagustuhan?
Hindi ko gusto yung
What
lasa.
about other vices? Sigarilyo, vape, ano pa ba ang ibang wisyo?
Wala. Hindi.
gimmick.
Pinalaki kasi kami ng parents ko na bawal lahat yon. And alam namin na bawal, so hindi kami gumamit. Yeah.
So, hindi ka nag-rebel din at one time ba? Nag-droga ka? Or
No.
ano ka? Oo.
No. I don't think so. Yeah.
You studied your grade school, high school, and college? Saan ka nag-aral?
Sa Pampanga lahat ako nag-aral. So, actually, nung mag-university na ako, ang gusto ko talagang kuhanin nun, either interior designing or architecture, anything about arts or fine arts. Sabi ko, gusto ko mag-aral Manila. Sabi ng mama ko, hindi pwede. Kahit anong gusto mong kuhanin mo na, basta dito ka lang sa Pampanga.
Gusto talaga ni mami, kita niya lahat. Okay.
So ngayon, sabi ko, fine, sige, mag-nursing ako pero gusto kong maging doktor, sabi ko sa kanila.
Did they want you to become a nurse?
Not really.
Alam mo naman ang mga Filipino parents. Hindi naman.
Not really. Hindi sila
yung mga
ganon.
joke ni Jokoy na.
No. Hindi naman.
You're familiar with that?
Yeah.
Yung mga sinasabi ni Jokoy na.
So hindi naman nila ako pinorse na maging nerd. They give me options. Actually, pwede pala ako mag-aral sa Manila if maipapasa ko ang UP. Unfortunately, hindi.
Yun lang ang ano.
Yes, yun lang ang parang...
Maybe also because it was a government school and they were government employees. They were like...
Hindi rin. So ngayon, nung natapos ko yung nursing, sabi nila, anak, may kapatid ka pa. Hindi ka na namin kayang ipadala sa medical school, which is understandable, ang mahal-mahal. Ako ang panganay, so may 3 pa akong kapatid. So sabi ko, okay ma, sabi ko ganun. So, pero nung time na yon, nag-decide na lang ako mag-masters sa halip na medicine.
Mahal din ang masteral.
But
did you work?
Nag-aaral ako at the same time. I mean,
working
nagtatrabaho.
Student ka?
Yeah.
Masteral in?
Master in nursing.
In nursing.
Yeah.
Na pagdating dito, hindi pinansin lahat. Nakakaloka, diba?
Hindi. Pero good thing, yung hospital ko ngayon, they credited it. Yeah.
Na-credit
yes,
na.
that's the good thing. Kasi
naman.
hindi ka nila, itong position ko ngayon, kung wala kang master's degree, hindi ka nila tatanggapin.
Yes. So they finally took note that it wasn't for naught.
Yes.
They recognized it.
Yes.
And okay. So now kasi you're saying you're more I was talking to you before we started the podcast. Sabi mo most of your time now is desk job, is office, is parang
yes,
paperwork.
Yeah. So usually kasi Monday, Tuesday, what we do is we still see patients, yung mga merong
Kasi mataas na yung position mo. Parang
medyo not Kasi bedside care, yun yung mga parang, yung nasa bedside ka, nag-aalaga ka talaga ng pasyente. So kami is nandun kami sa medyo leadership role na.
Mm-mm.
So ang goal namin is ma-educate nga yung mga pasyente. And at the same time, ikaw nagko-coordinate ng mga treatment nila. Halimbawa, nandun na sa part na magda-dialysis na sila. Ano yung pinili niya? Paano mo sila papadala doon? So ikaw yung nagko-coordinate nun.
So at this point, na mukhang na-hurdle mo na yung napakahirap na challenge, and you've been here 13 years
Yes,
already, since 2010,
13
2023. 13 years already. Is life easier now for Zed?
I think so, looking back. Kung ibabalik ko yung dati, biruin mo, nung nasa Mandarin pa ako, kahit gaano karaming snow yan,
nag-server ka,
kahit
no?
hanggang tuhod, kailangan kong maglakad papunta sa Mandarin. I mean, I am very grateful, blessed, and thankful sa lahat-lahat. And lagi kong sinasabi, siguro may reason lahat ng pinagdaanan ko. Kasi hindi ko ma-appreciate kung nasan ako ngayon kung hindi ko napagdaanan yung mga yun. Yun yung lagi ko ding sinasabi dun sa mga nurses, future nurses dito, na sabi ko, which is they are more, I think, mas madali na kasi yung proseso ngayon eh. In a span of like 1 to 2 years, magiging nurse ka na dito. Basta alam mo lang kung paano i-navigate.
Oo. Which is not easy. The navigation is not easy. Oo.
So, at saka ngayon, mas pinadali na ng gobyerno na maging nurse ang mga internationally educated nurses.
And you have your own house now?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
You were able, did you bring your family here? Some of them?
Well, that was the plan. Actually, the original plan was dapat buong family magmamigrate back nung high school ako. Pero, ang sabi ko sa tatay ko kasi UP graduate. And working sa government. Tapos sabi ko ganun, scholar ka ng bayan, tapos iiwan mo ang Pilipinas. I was so nationalistic that time. So, tapos sabi ko sabi ko hindi ka ba grateful kung nasan ka na ngayon, yung trabaho mo, ganito, ganyan. So, sabi ko ganun sa kanya. Tapos, eventually, na-realize nila, they pulled out the paper from Canada. Nandun na kami sa last stage bago
ikaw
kami
pa pala
pumunta
yung
dito.
nakakumbinsi sa kanila.
Yes.
Tapos ikaw yung
Tapos ako yung unang pumunta dito. That was funny.
Okay.
So, well, the plan was like for me to actually bring my mom and my dad here. They visited sometimes. Actually, babalik sila ulit this year. Pero siyempre gusto mo dito na sila din permanently. But ang hirap. Pangatlong taon ko na hindi nabubunot kasi drawlats ang ano ngayon parent sponsorship.
Okay. So, naka-file na?
Naka-file na, pero hindi ako nabubunot for some reason. Merong ibang nabubunot na, alam mo yon,
parang mas mabilis kesa sa'yo. Oo. Another challenge for Jen. Tapos, pero yung siblings mo nandito na?
Sister ko nandito na, and the husband of my sister. So,
ikaw yung kumuha sa kanila from the Philippines?
Nag-support lang kasi nag-student visa sila. So, nag-support, alam mo naman family, we support each other. So, ngayon, ba't pareho na rin silang PR?
That's nice.
So, yeah. They are pharmacists back home. So, they're working out their licensure. Again, challenge na naman, diba? But sabi ko nga sa
pero
kanila.
Pero andyan ka, Tukay. Ang laking tulong nun.
Yeah.
Then you have 2 others, kasi 4 kayo. Your sisters here, the 2 other siblings.
Nasa Pilipinas.
Do they wanna come here? Or
contemplating pa sila kung gusto nila.
May mga asawa na ba?
Yung isa meron, yung pangatlo, and may anak na din. Pero nandun pa sila sa contemplating phase. Pero ako naman sabi ko sa kanila, pag gusto nyo pumunta dito, just let me know. Support lang naman kami. Pero okay din kasi yung buhay nila sa Pilipinas. Alam mo yun, ang hirap din
naman yan, not everyone belongs to Canada.
Correct, exactly.
But I remember when I talked to you in the mentorship night, sabi mo, give it 10 years.
10 years talaga.
Tapos malalaman mo kung Canada is for you. Diba? Sabi mo.
Yun ang hindi ko nalimutan nung sinabi na nag-orientation ako sa Canadian Embassy sa Philippines. Sabi nung orientee doon, sabi niya, give yourself 10 years before you say no to Canada.
Medyo matagal din ang 10 years.
And
pero
2020, nung ika-10 years ko dito, sabi ko, yeah, I think dito na ako.
So, no regrets? You think you belong here?
I think so. Lalo na sa trabaho ko ngayon. So, alam mo yun, yung trabaho ko kasi, yung mga katrabaho ko, biruin mo mga scientist, doctor sila. Hindi biro-birong mga renowned researchers for their own field. Kasi binabasa ko yung background nila nung bago ako doon. Sabi ko, oh my God. Sabi ko ganun. But they are very humble. They listen to you pag nagsasalita ka. That's the good thing about my job now. May say kami. Meron kang spot na i-stop sila, pakikinggan nila kung ano yung sinabi mo.
Zed, maraming mga Pilipino who don't think they deserve that they don't think that they deserve to be heard. Alam mo tayo, mahiyain, na parang minsan nga shortcut. Ako, even if I had maybe 10-15 years on my belt already as a reporter for the biggest news networks in the Philippines, minsan feeling ko pa rin pag nagsasalita ako, I have to shorten it because I'm taking up too much of their time, or maybe what I'm saying is not worthy enough for them to listen to me too, like for that length of a time. I mean, I can imagine, and I consider myself a pretty confident person. I mean, at least I know I still need work on that department, but I can just imagine the others who, because it's part of our society, our culture. Of course, we were colonized. You know, we have this invisible energy that we are inferior. We were made to believe that, to feel that the colonizers were the better ones. That's why we wanted to be maputi. We wanted to be matangkad. Pag panguilong natin, medyo, hindi ako maganda. Pag hindi ako magaling mag-English, ito yung mga isa sa kailangan i-improve din siguro ng mga Pilipino, yung parang ang lakas nating manglait sa mga taong pag hindi masyadong marunong mag-English sa Pilipinas, pagtatawanan mo.
Totoo.
Hindi naman tayo Amerikano. Hindi naman tayo, sabi nga ni Melanie Marquez, di ba? Hindi naman ako Amerikano. Bakit ako magiging magaling mag-English? But I guess it's part of your journey also, what you've learned. Now you know that you deserve this spot. You deserve to be listened to. Your experience is worth something. It doesn't make you arrogant. It just makes you really recognize your place, especially with your talent, with your skill, with your empathy, with your compassion in your field. I mean, I guess what I'm asking is, what can you say to those Filipinos who still carry that, no? Who carry that parang, whether they're in the Philippines, wherever they are in the world, whether they're here in Canada, it doesn't matter if you're new here or you've been here a long time, you can still feel like, hindi naman ako milyonaryo, bilyonaryo para pakinggan ng mga tao. You get intimidated when you see people na, uy, mga kasabay ko, naku, may PhD sa ganito, may ganito, di ba? Tapos parang wag na, hindi na ako mag-a-apply kasi tinaman man yung mga competition ko. From your experience, you are in the position to maybe have a message on that thought.
I think, guilty ako doon. I'm one of those people. Kasi even dun sa forum na inattendan nating dalawa, akong pinakahuling nagsalita. When I heard all the speakers, sabi ko, oh my God, ang gaganda ng mga background nila. May PhD, in UP graduate sila. And ako, sabi ko, wala akong pwedeng sabihin, but only my experience, right? So, I think, yung mga taong ganon, try to internalize yourself. Tingnan mo kung ano yung strengths mo. And if you think, both strength and weaknesses, kung ano yung weakness mo, tingnan mo kung may mai-improve ka ba doon. Like ako kasi, the dialysis itself, hindi ko alam nung time na yon. Pero sabi ko sa sarili ko, I have to learn. So nag-aral ako. Hindi tayo pwedeng maghintay lang na darating sa atin yung blessing. No. You have to do something. Kasi hindi pupunta sa iyo yung blessing talaga kung wala kang ginagawa. So the point is, kailangan mo talaga magtiyaga. Kailangan mong mag-invest sa sarili mo. Biruin mo kung and the tuition fee sa Canada is hindi biro. You have to invest on yourself.
And it's not wasted money.
No, definitely not.
You know, one of the stick with your train of thought, but let me just inject this because my favorite boss, Art Tugade, former Secretary of Transportation, he used to say, you think the cost of education is expensive, is high? Check out the cost, try the cost of ignorance.
Totoo.
Di ba? So, kahit ganyan ang cost niyan, gastusan mo yan dahil sa sarili mo yan. And it will come back tenfold, right?
And like for me, yung nephrology course na yun, pwede ko siyang tapusin in a span of 1.5 years. But it took me almost 3 to 4 years kasi I'm doing it only part-time. Yun ang lagi kong sinasabi sa mga, kasi ngayon nagme-mentor na rin ako ng mga nurses kasi may Filipino Facebook may Filipino nurses Facebook wherein they keep messaging me. Pag nakikita, may pinost kasi ako doon yung journey ko. So akong nagsasabi sa kanila na, you know what? Naiisip mo ngayon na, mag-aaral ako ulit. Nag-aaral naman ako sa Pilipinas. Bakit ako mag-aaral ulit? Kasi isipin mong ganon, kung nag-start ka na, kaka-complain mo, natapos mo na dapat.
Totoo yan, oo.
Diba? So ako, ganun ang naging mentality ko dito. Instead of complaining, start it. Kasi yan yung binigay na choice sa'yo. You have to prove to them. And at the same time, it's not your loss. Actually, gain mo yan. Kasi pag nag-apply ka ng higher level, kung gusto mo man, diba? Pakita mo, may ganito ako, may ganito ako.
At saka, one of the things na I learned about that, tama rin eh. May matututunan ka rin.
Meron.
At saka, at that time pala na natapos ka, ibang-iba pala talaga yung way nila.
Yes.
So, yung pag-aaralan mo, may value siya. Kahit na minsan parang naiinsulto ka. Very small example, very different example from yours, but maybe in the same idea. Nung nag-driving lesson ako dito, I was getting my license. I've been driving in Manila more than 20, almost 30 years. Mas mabilis pa ako mag-drive sa ambulansya. Well, that's not something to be proud of. But I mean, I drive really well. I take pride in the way I drive. And then here, when I took the G test, kasi pag matagal ka nag-drive sa Philippines, pwede ka magdiretso sa G. Try ka mag-G. Bagsak ako. I didn't expect it to crush me, but it crushed me. I'm like, excuse me? Diba? Parang, pero, so I had to go through G2 again, and then hindi ko pa nga tinitake yung G ko. Pero na-realize ko nung nag-take na ako ng G2, tas pumasa ako ng G2. Sabi ko, hindi pa rin talaga pala. Mas maganda pala na bumagsak muna ako at nag-G2 ako. Kasi, iba yung sistema ng roads eh. Kahit napakagaling ko mag-drive. Nag-drive na ako sa New York, nag-drive ako sa France, nag-drive na ako sa... So, iba pala. Iba. So, sabi ko, it takes that. You will be humbled. Totoo
yan.
Which is something you can use.
Totoo yan. Yun yung isa din sa lesson ko dito. At saka sabi mo nga pag nag-aaral ka, nakikita mo kung paano sila magsalita. Nakukuha mo yung culture. And in a sense, ako as a nurse, ganun palang sabihin yun. Ganun palang tanungin yun. Minsan kasi, di ba siyempre sa Pilipinas, even though nag-i-English tayo, minsan hindi mo alam paano tanungin sa pasyente. So yun yung mga natutunan ko kasi sabi ko, okay. Kaya totoo yung sinabi mo na may makukuha at makukuha ka pa rin.
The
and of course,
nuances,
connections.
the little things,
Connections din.
And then the confidence. It grows because alam mo na yung way nila. I'm doing it. It doesn't mean you lose your own identity, which is also a struggle. You have to consciously think na hindi naman ako sobrang gagayahin ko the way they are. I have to still stick to... That's why I'm different. That's why the cultural diversity in Canada is very... it's flourishing because I am not trying to be Canadian or kahit naman sabi mong Canadian, that's already diverse, but I'm not trying to be another culture. I'm still me, but I can now be in this same arena as them, right? But I have another question on that, on the trajectory of your story. Kasi now, the younger people, and I suppose you're also teaching younger nurses, diba? They might be thinking, because sometimes hard work is such an ancient or a parental thought. Yung parang, now you have to work smart, not necessarily that hard, or now you have technology. Now we don't have to work that hard anymore. I mean, how do you translate that to the younger generation now who might not, kagaya nga sabi mo, hindi na ganun kahirap maging nurse ngayon sa Canada. So for some who are thinking na, baka naman hindi na kailangan mag-work hard ng ganun. Or may technology na, may
Maybe sa iba ganon. Kasi merong mga taong innate na magaling sila talaga. Like pagpasok nila sa room yun. Gaya nga nung sinabi ko sa'yo kanina, if you know that may mga taong mas magaling sa'yo, dapat tignan mo kung paano mo may improve yung sarili mo. And dun ka mag-focus. Huwag kang mag-focus dun sa, may mas magaling sa akin. Mag-focus ka kung paano mo may improve yung sarili mo. And do it silently. Yun ang natutunan ko. Do it silently. Hindi ako mahilig mag-post sa Facebook ng mga achievements ko or whatsoever. Pinost ko lang yun kasi it's a Filipino nurses. Kasi gusto ko lang silang ma-inspire.
Yung journey mo,
yung journey ko.
mo.
Kung ano yung naging ano ko doon. Kung sa tingin nyo is journey up there is easy, it's not. Unless you were born like really magaling. Sabi ko nga kasi may mga taong ganon. But I think even those people who are considered to be magaling, matalino, naturally, they have their own struggle. So kung sila nagkakaroon ng struggle, how much more yung common na tao? Like, ako, right? So ako, ang lagi kong iniisip talaga is how to improve myself. Yun ang lagi ko. Since dumating ako dito sa Canada, yun ang naging ano ko. Actually, ngayon, sabi nga ng mga nakakakilala sa akin, ilang ano lang yan, gusto mo na naman yan, mag-level up ka na naman, ibang trabaho na naman. Sabi ko, no, I'm happy now. Sabi, sinasabi mo lang yan, sabi nang gano'n. Pero deep inside me, I'm looking for something na gusto ko na naman mag-aral. Oo.
So there's this constant
learning,
desire to improve yourself.
Exactly.
And
kasi
learn.
Sa trabaho ko ngayon, hindi naman part ng trabaho ko, pero lahat kami is yung kasama na ako ngayon sa quality improvement meeting, yung mga ganun-ganun. Sabi ko, ano to, hindi ko alam. So, yun yung mga gusto ko namang ma-improve sa sarili ko. Ano bang ibig sabihin nun? Kasi minsan, yung mga katrabaho ko, pag may meeting kami, ang bilis nilang gumawa ng
minsan
mga...
nakakainggit, ano? Pero ang maganda nga sa sinasabi ni Zed, yung inggit, hindi mo ipapaspiral to a negative emotion.
No.
Your inggit and your admiration for somebody who's really good should inspire you and how you can be not like him, but how to be good on your own path, your own trajectory.
And of course, minsan, collaboration din with your colleagues. Yun ang dapat na hindi natin makalimutan din. Katrabaho mo sila. Everyday mo silang kasama. Minsan, mas matagal mo pa silang kasama kaysa sa actual family mo, di ba? So, you have to work well with them.
Yes.
Be
Magaling
humble.
naman tayo dyan ang mga Pilipino, di ba?
Yeah.
What do you do for fun?
For fun,
to
unwind, actually sa bahay lang ako. Pero, pag nasa bahay ako, marami kasi akong halaman.
Plantita. That's why the jacket is plants.
Actually, even back home, I think nakuha ko yun sa nanay ko. So ngayon, sa bahay, yun. So dun lang, minsan nandun lang ako sa bahay, tinitingnan ko sila, parang nare-relax ka na, gano'n.
May green thumb ka.
Yes, I would definitely
That's good.
say. Yeah.
Naniniwala na ako that there's such a thing as green thumb because my mom, there's no, at least it looks to us like there's not much effort, but the plants just grow. Nung nilipat na niya sa bahay ko, ba't namamatay? Sinabi ko naman yung ginagawa niya pag sinabi niya 2 times a week lang i-water tas hindi masyadong soaked. Pero may green thumb. There is such a thing. Mine is probably more on the yellow scale.
Hindi kasi
Getting
ako,
there. Okay.
ang isa pang ginagawa ko pag may halaman ako, binabasa ko. Nagre-research ako sa kanila paano
akala ko binabasahan mo.
Hindi, binabasa ko yung kung paano talaga sila alagaan.
Sa bagay. Yeah. That's true. And what is it about plants that make you relaxed? Happy?
Yes. Kasi lalo na pag nakakita mo silang nag-grow, right? And green itself, nakaka-relax.
Yeah, that's true.
Kasi sa bahay ko ngayon, meron akong sunroom. So, nandun lahat yung mga halaman ko. So, yun talagang nakaka-relax sa akin. If given a chance, pumupunta naman mag-travel, ganun. Pero, bahay lang talaga ako eh.
Sabi mo nga homebody ka, masaya ka sa bahay.
Yes. Nagluluto.
Ano yung naiinis, ano yung nakakairita kay Jed? Yung, ayan, hindi na mabait si Jed kasi, si Zed, sorry. Hindi na mabait. Okay.
Yes.
May confession. Pag nagkalat, ano?
Medyo. Pero alam mo yun, ako kasi makalat din ako. Pero kalat ko yon. Pero pag
Yeah.
outside na dun sa area ko, parang
Oo.
yun. Tsaka, mahilig akong mag-organize din kasi.
Oo.
Minsan, side gig ko din ginagawa ko. Nag-organize ako ng wedding, ng mga party.
Really?
Yeah. Pero dun lang sa mga
Event
kakilala
planning.
ko. Dun lang sa mga kakilala ko. Maraming nagtatanong pero
So yung
kasi
close
mahirap,
friends mo,
yes.
pwede mong tulungan mag-ayos ng mga special
pinsan
events
ko, dalawang
nila?
pinsan ko kinasal na, kapatid ko kinasal, ako din. Tapos recently, yung anak ng friend ko, yun, tinulungan ko din mag-organize.
Ano naman ang satisfaction sa'yo noon? Maraming trabaho kasi doon din yun eh.
Marami talaga. Kasi lalo na kung ikaw ang maggagawa from the very beginning. The satisfaction is yung nakikita mo yung maayos. Kasi nga, sabi ko nga sa'yo,
gusto mo
ayoko ng
maayos. Oo.
Yeah, pag happy sila sa result, yun.
It was such a great hour, Zed. Thank you so much for sharing your
Oh, no problem.
stories.
Thank you so much for
And,
inviting me.
yeah. Any other message about anything if you want before we let you go?
Well, kung I mean, ako kasi tumutulong pa rin naman ako hanggang ngayon. May mga nagme-message like, I also provide pre-interviews, yung may mga interview ng mga nurses or what. Ako mismo gumagawa ng research ng mga tanong dun sa kung saan sila may interview, let's say emergency or what.
Really?
Yes.
You help them with the interviews?
Yes. Minsan nga yung isa kong
Do you
kaibigan.
charge for that?
Oh, no. Minsan nga yung mga, actually kahit hindi nurse, nagre-research ako kung ano yung mga potential questions sa
I
kanila.
love how you love research. That's my background also.
So,
Okay.
yun lang. So, thank you so
To
much.
reach out to
And
you, you're okay if they reach out to you if
for
they
sure.
need
For sure.
amazing. That's Zed's way of giving back.
Yes,
Right?
exactly. At saka kasi ang hirap ng hindi mo alam paano mag-start.
You know how that feels.
Alam mo yan,
That's
right?
why.
Yung pag nandito ka, saan ako mag-start? Kasi ang dami. Tsaka kung walang nag-guide sa'yo, ang hirap din. So, yun yung nagiging payback
Your
sa mga
advocacy
bagong nurses or immigrants dito.
That's amazing. Thank you so much again, Zed,
No
for joining
problem.
us,
No
and
problem.
we'll keep in touch.
Okay.
And that's another hour of the Cherry Mercado podcast. I hope you enjoyed our kwentuhan with Zed Salazar. If you're ever in Toronto General Hospital, hanapin si Zed. And that's it. We'll see you again next week.